Who's in and who's out? The Astros are one of 5 teams that have a chance of being eliminated. What will they do on the road? Eric and I will talk about it. And if they don't make the playoffs, will this team be considered a failure?
Jainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros. We update you. Join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talk Stros. Find Brett at H-Town Wellhouse. You can find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Thank you for everybody that makes this part of your daily routine, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Go make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check us out. We're trying to reach 16,000 subscribers, and we're going to be here all off-season, all postseason, all regular season. Whatever it takes, we're always here for you Monday through Friday. So go and make us your first listen. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Whether it's football, baseball, right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the app today. So, Brett, I know that the Astros start a critical 6-game road trip. They're going to go to Sacramento, then they're going to go to Anaheim to play the Angels. So, we're going to talk about where are the Tigers playing, where are the Red Sox playing, where are the Guardians playing, because this is going to be a big impact on if the Astros are going to make the playoffs. We're going to look at the matchup versus the Athletics and the Astros in this next series coming up. And also, like you kind of touched on, will this season be a failure for the Houston Astros if they don't make it to the playoffs? And I guess a little caveat question, will this team, if they make it to a wild card series, do they have enough in a short series to even make it past that round? So that's something that we'll address in the third segment. But guys, y'all ready for the last road trip? Brett, are you ready?
Yeah, man, I'm ready. I kind of wish I was going out there, to cheer the guys on, but obviously real things happen. I've got to go to work, just like everybody else. This is interesting, Eric, as I've been looking at this playoff picture, looking at the tiebreakers and all that stuff. You literally have 5 teams. The Astros are the 5th team right now because they're on the outside looking in, who all could miss the playoffs. The Yankees, the Red Sox, the Guardians, the Detroit Tigers, and the Astros. I put Seattle up there and keep them out of that because I just don't know if they're going to miss the playoffs. I mean, the way they're playing right now, they played their last 6 games at home. It's kind of a gift for them, and they're hot right now. But the Astros going on the road got to do what they've done more lately in September is they played a little bit better on the road. They've scored a lot more runs in September, and you hope they find that. The starting pitchers can't do what they've done with allowing early runs. I know Hunter Brown dealt, but when your offense isn't firing on all cylinders, giving up solo shots is going to be a recipe for disaster. I'm excited about these 6 games. I just have no idea how they're going to go. It would be a very Houston Astros thing to win the last 6 games and make it in on the last day of the season.
Yeah, and that's something they've done before. That's why Joe Espada made that comment yesterday. The Astros have been here before. They've done this. They're not worried about this. I know right now, technically, they're tied with the Guardians right now for the last wild card spot. So with 6 games left, anything can happen. The Guardians do have the tiebreaker over the Astros. The Red Sox do have the tiebreaker over the Astros. The Mariners have the tiebreaker over the Astros. So a lot of teams have the tiebreakers over the Astros. So that's the product of poor play against some of these teams this year. But on Tuesday, it's going to be a late game, 9:05 Central Standard Time. But it's going to be Christian Javier versus Jeffrey Springs. Javier, he's been really good some days, really bad some other days. But He's coming back from Tommy John surgery, so he's 2-3 with a 4.45 ERA. Jeffrey Springs is 10-11 with a 4.17 ERA on the season. So this is going to be the only matchup you're going to know ahead of time. They could technically pitch Hunter Brown Wednesday. I know right now it's TBA, but they could put him on Wednesday, and that way he can have enough rest to pitch game 1 of a potential wild card series on next Tuesday, because the next wild card series begins on that next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
So, so they only faced Jeffrey Springs twice. Jeffrey Springs, the team he pitched for, he is 2-0 with a 4.70 ERA with them, 7 strikeouts and 3 appearances. So he hasn't done a ton of damage. The last time out this year on the 25th of July, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, a home run, a walk. The Astros clearly did not win that game. He won that game. The 6 innings pitch, he had the quality start there. So, I mean, Jeffrey Springs isn't an overpowering guy, but he's had experience beating the Astros. We know the Astros issues with this team, with this young offense, the likes of Booker, Butler, Nick Kurtz, Wilson. I mean, they've got a cast of characters that, if Oakland can keep their guys together, are going to be a formidable opponent in the next couple seasons. So the bottom of the line is you have to have situational hitting. Christian Javier has to be not necessarily at his best, but he's got to be better than, he's got to be at his best. The bullpen, you've got AJ Blueball, but you can only throw him in there so many games in a row. You don't want to burn him out too much, but he's been excellent in relief appearances. Brian King is excellent, is pretty much a lock when he comes into the game. And you've got some other guys in the bullpen that can be dependable and haven't. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to, what do the Astros do? If the A's punch, do the Astros punch back? And if they don't punch back like they didn't do against Seattle, then there's no way they can beat Oakland, because all they got to do is put up 2 or 3 runs. And then if you don't counter that, Eric, I don't know if you know this, but the Astros never led or tied with the Mariners in this last.
There's only one inning the entire series where
it was 0-0.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I actually, I did my homework. I actually went and watched the Locked On Mariners podcast, and they were breaking stuff down. I mean, the Mariners took the energy out of the building, and the Astros just didn't respond.
Yeah, I know. And I'm going back to Jeffrey Springs for a second. He is a left-handed pitcher. So far this year, out of 156 games, Joe Espada has thrown out 148 different lineups. This is a byproduct of injuries. This is also a byproduct of not a consistent offense and just trying to find the right fit. But considering they're going to be facing another lefty, I'm guessing it's going to be a 149th different batting order. So I don't know who's going to be batting where. It's hard to predict. But I think that Zach Cole has really done a really good job with his time up so far. So I think he should be moved up a little bit. But Christian Walker and Yainer Diaz, as good as he can do sometimes, just his swing and misses, it looks like he's flailing and falling on his foot. Like when you teach a little league, you tell them to not go forward. And even when you play golf, you want to try to stay in your stance. And he's flailing and basically ending up facing the pitcher. And so he's a professional hitter. He's going to figure it out. But I just think that the Astros, they need to win. They need to win. I don't know if they're going to sweep all the games. That's a lot to ask for. But I know somebody put in comments 5 out of the 6 games. That's a lot to ask for. But they're playing teams that are not in it right now. But like I said, these teams they're trying to be spoilers. They're trying to go out there, and this is their playoffs. They know they're not going to make it. I think the A's are going to be a very good team in the near future with their young talent. But the Astros have got to do what they did against the Rangers. Don't limit the opposition from scoring early, score early, and just score often. And that's what they did not do against the Mariners. They let the Mariners dictate everything in that entire series. And we saw what happened. So, guys, we're going to talk about what the Astros have to do to basically catch up to either the Tigers. Well, I know they're technically caught up to the Guardians, and maybe even the Red Sox. We're going to talk about that next on the Locked On Astros podcast.
Hey guys, I want to tell y'all about our sponsor tonight, Nutrafol. Nutrafol is a great product, and I know you've seen millions of ads. I know you've seen hair growth products and thought, sure, like that actually works. There are so many products out there. It's hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything. That's why you should give Nutrafol a closer look. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. And it's not just hype. It's a supplement clinically tested that targets the root causes of thinning and shedding with a proactive approach. Look, I've used Nutrafol in the past and I love it. I mean, this stuff, it works. And I'm not making that up. I'm very satisfied with the results, and you can feel good too, knowing that Nutrafol is NSF certified and backed by peer-reviewed studies. See thicker, stronger hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering Locked On MLB listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code Locked On MLB. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code Locked On MLB.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. Go ahead and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. So before the break, we were talking a little bit about the Astros' chances of making the playoffs. They have a chance of making the playoffs, but the chance of winning AL West has gone down a lot. The Mariners' chances of winning AL West right now, according to Fangraphs, is 98.25%.
So you're saying there's a chance.
The Astros have a 1.8% chance of winning. But
it's better than zero.
Yeah. But they do have a 63.8% chance of clinching a wild card and a 2% chance of going to the World Series. So the Fangraphs is not totally eliminating them like a lot of Astros fans are. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the Tigers and the Guardians are going to be facing each other for the next 2 games. So one of them, let's say the Tigers or the Guardians, let's just go and say the Guardians, because as hot as they've been, they go and sweep the Tigers. That goes ahead and puts the Astros ahead of the Tigers at this point. Then the Guardians, let's see, the Guardians will go on to face the, from there, I think they go on to face the Red Sox, the Rangers. And then the other team will go on to face the Red Sox. And the Red Sox are still in on it as well. So the Red Sox are going to be having something to say about this. So they're going to be trying to clinch that second seed in the wild card, or maybe even try to catch the Yankees at some point. So,
yeah, look, it is jumbled up. You know, the Astros own 0 tiebreakers. I mean, technically the Astros and Guardians are tied for the final berth, but if they tie with the record, the Guardians have us.
Right.
The Mariners do lead by 3, but like you said last night, 4 actually, because of the tiebreaker. So right now, here's the deal. The Astros are not going in there with a big board in the clubhouse, looking at everybody's record and like, hey, Jose, put Detroit down there, put us up there. Okay. That's like, they're not doing that. Like we're doing that. Like we're drawing stuff at work. You know, some of y'all diehards are at home redrawing. I used to do, I don't do this anymore, but I used to draw out the bracket and I used to try to figure out like what exactly had to happen for my team to get in, for the Astros to get in. They basically are going out 1 game at a time. They're not even thinking about 6 games. They're not thinking that they're 3 games out. They don't care about that. If I go out and I'm the Houston Astros and I win game 1 tomorrow, mission accomplished. Put that behind you. Who cares? Next game, it's literally how I coach games, Eric, when I coach sports, we are trying to go 1-0 every time we play. We don't care about our previous record. We don't care about the other team's record. We want to go 1-0. And the way that starts, you got to win the first inning. And even if winning the first inning isn't scoring a run, it's getting guys on base. It's seeing multiple pitches, getting that pitcher up to 20 pitches in the first inning. Then it's countering, throwing up a 0. Then it's coming out, getting a crooked number on the board second inning, winning each inning, or better yet, winning each at bat, winning each pitching battle with the other hitter. So you have to break it down and compartmentalize and forget everything else going on. The fans, we worry about all the Tigers and the Guardians and the Red Sox, and Astros don't. And like I said last night, they're not panicking. I mean, we may be panicking. I mean, there's all kinds of bad Houston news right now. You got the Texans at 0-3. Fred VanVleet today tore his ACL in a workout in the freaking Bahamas. And everyone's like, oh my God, the sky is falling. No, well, look, when it rains, it pours, people. But the Astros, they can't worry about stuff like that. They got to go out tomorrow. Christian's got a deal. The offense has got to show up. And they got to realize they're playing in a minor league ballpark. Take advantage of it.
So the Red Sox play the Blue Jays, then they play the Tigers. So the Tigers play the Guardians, then they play the Red Sox. And then you have the Guardians playing the Tigers and then the Rangers. So that's basically what's going to happen. So all of them are fairly good teams. The Rangers, even though they're on the 7-game losing streak right now, they are still over 500. So all the teams that are basically that I just said, they're all over 500. So I think the Astros have a chance to go ahead, not only just making it into playoffs as the 3rd seed in the wild card, but they could actually catch up to the Red Sox in this situation. So you have to have a lot of other teams lose, but the scenarios here will allow that. But you got to go out there and win. It doesn't matter if the other teams get swept or whatever. You got to go out there and get some W's, and that's what the Astros did not do this weekend. And a lot of people were saying that we did not give the Mariners credit. We did give the Mariners credit. The Mariners won this series. You're muted or something.
Oh yeah. We definitely did. And I combed through some of the comments this morning, before I left for work, and I responded, and, people heard like one little clip of mine where I talked about this, that they couldn't win with King Griffey Jr. 25, 30 years ago. And they're going to have a hard time winning now. But even in those comments, I was being a little tongue in cheek. Did I not, Eric, give the Mariners their props? Did I not say that the Astros absolutely did not do the job they needed to do? And someone's like, okay, we beat them 10 years in a row, and all of a sudden they're better than us, and now it's a rivalry. No, I think it's been a rivalry up before this point. I think it's been a rivalry that's been brewing let's be honest. I think since 2022 is when I think this rivalry really got heated, because that's when all the hits by pitches, that's when the tempers flared. And since then, and until the thumb or whatever his name was that used to manage the Mariners that got fired, the guy that
Scott Service.
Yeah, Scott Service, that kind of looks like a thumb. That guy, I think, stirred up a lot of stuff. What's funny is since he's been gone, we haven't seen a lot of that, Eric. We haven't seen a lot of pitchers hit. Now, we did see some Astros get hit in this series, but I don't think any of them were intentional. But my thing is, you can recognize the other team's great play while recognizing that your team, because of injuries, is in the position they're in. But it doesn't matter how many injuries they have. You still got to win. Nobody cares at this point. So, yeah, trust me, we've given our props, and there are a lot, and I got to commend, there are a lot of Mariners fans. Some have been trolling, but the majority of them have actually been pretty cool, and I appreciate them listening. And I'm just going to ask our listeners, don't return the hate with hate, guys. Just let them, if someone comes in and trolls, ignore them. We'll take care of it, but banter with them back and forth. Let's have fun with it. It is a sport, and it is baseball.
Well, going back to when the Astros swept the Dodgers, the Astros have gone 29-37 At that time, they had a 6-game lead in AL West. They're 20 games over 500. And so have how the tables have turned. So we'll go ahead and talk about, is this season a failure if the Astros don't make the playoffs? We're going to talk about this and more on the Locked On Astros podcast.
Look, we all know it's football season, and I know the Texans are 0-3, but it's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. And think about FanDuel when it comes to finishing your game right. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it helps me. It allows me to bet however I want with player props, building the same game parlay, or even jumping in live as the action unfolds. It makes every game more exciting, whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup like I did, because when the Texans are bad, I'm watching my fantasy players. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us. Go and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. So Joe Espada had some words of wisdom. It's one game at a time. We got 6 ones to go. 6 big ones. We played really well on the West Coast. We need to bring it, man. This is crunch time. This is when you play your best. I'll take my team against any other team when our backs are against the corner. Okay.
Yeah. The only counter argument to that is this team hasn't been in that situation before. The teams of the past have. This team's different. You don't have Jordan. You have a lot of injuries. I'm just saying. And I still believe that if there's any team that can overcome these hurdles, these obstacles, it is the Astros. But this year, them doing it is going to be an even bigger miracle than what we've ever seen in the past because of what they're having to overcome. I mean, guys like Zach Cole have to show up in a big way. Cam Smith, if he's in the lineup, has to show up in a big way. You know, Jeremy Pena, they said it was a 2-day thing on his injury. Does that mean he's back and playing versus the A's tomorrow? I'm just saying he needs to be in that lineup. Jose Altuve either needs to be leading off or 5th, not 4th. Sorry. So I put him in the 4-hole. That doesn't make sense. Someone tell Sanchez, keep your head in the box. Watch the ball hit the bat. Quit swinging out of your shoes like you're trying to crush a ball back to Florida. I mean, it's just insane. This guy's just undisciplined swing. You know, Walker, quit striking out on 97-mile-an-hour fastballs down the middle. You know, these are things that if they can go out there and do, they can get it done. But this team has the biggest challenge of any team in the past because they don't have as much talent. They're not as powerful. But we know that if they get hot, they can take anything they want to do and they can turn it into a reality. It's just going to be a much bigger uphill battle in these last 6 games.
Let's go back to the trade deadline for a second. Remember how excited we were that Carlos Correa's coming back. The Astros got Jesus Sanchez. Then he got Urias. This was something that we were like, yes, they finally addressed the offense. Maybe they'll get stuff going. But since they did that trade, the Astros are averaging 3.95 runs per game. Only 4 offensive have a lower OPS since the All-Star break. And then the 684 mark the Astros have. So no other team, American League lineup, has seen fewer pitches per plate appearances than the Houston Astros.
Yeah.
And that's why they brought Isak Paredes back to kind of try to extend the starting pitcher. And what did the Astros do against the Rangers? They made the starting pitchers throw pitches. And then all of a sudden versus the Mariners, that just vanished. And it just seems like one philosophy versus one team just goes out the door versus another team. And I know that the Mariners have bigger names and everything, but you're facing guys like DeGrom. This is one of the better pitchers in the game. And it's not like the guys that the Rangers had were terrible. So what's up with this? But Sanchez is hitting 198 since the Astros got him. And Urias has not really batted at all since September 13th.
Yeah.
Correa, to his credit, is batting 285 since he's come here.
Yeah, Correa, lately it has been more singles and just getting on base than anything.
He's had some home runs, but yeah.
Yeah, but he's getting on base. And that's part of the problem. Remember the old G.I. Joe, like saying knowing is half the battle. Well, getting a guy on base is half the battle. You've got to score. I mean, we get a guy to third and with no outs and we can't even get him home. And that is an actual problem. Billy Huckleberry, I wonder if he's related to Huckleberry Finn. Or anyways, I was gonna make a joke, but Eric, you had said that last night, and you know what? I thought about it, and let me just tell you why I'm different than most people, Eric, because I'm willing to look at some of the things I say and some of the things that I bring to the show, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I wasn't right about that. Maybe Eric was right, and Eric, it does make sense. The more that I thought about it, about the Angels and the A's being motivated to knock us out of the playoffs. Because I was like, no, that's ridiculous. Like, these guys have been out of it. But then the more I thought about it. So, Eric, without even doing anything, you changed my mind on that. I agree. Like, they have pride. They don't want to go out on a losing note. So they want to win. So, yeah. So there's probably extra motivation. Why? Because the Astros have pretty much ruled the West the last, 9-10 years. And so, here you go.
In a full season, the Astros have not won the AL West. It was that shortened season that, of course, they were the wild card team during COVID. But other than that, since 2017 or 2016 is the last time they didn't do it, they've been the kings of the AL West. Yeah. So what's happening this year? They have a 1.8% chance of winning AL West. They have to win out, and the Mariners basically have to lose out for this to happen.
Can you imagine, though? Can you imagine the absolute crash out that's going to happen in Seattle if the Astros win the West? Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, and I'm not even saying it's probable. I'm not being delusional or homer here, but I'm just saying, what if?
Right.
The
Astros need to win. Don't even worry about what's going on with the Mariners.
Yeah, right.
On the other guys right now.
Right, and that's what I was saying earlier. But I'm just looking at it from the fans' perspective, the dialogue. I got this one guy, I got this random guy that followed me the other day on X, and he's got 32 followers. He follows 17 people, and he's like a Mariners guy. And he's found 3 tweets of mine from this year. He's like, "Oh, I got your receipts." I'm like, "You got 32 followers." I'm like, "That's fine." I'm like, "Yeah, you got me." I'll give him his props. These games will come with high interest. And look, Eric, I'm not even gonna get in a ball of nerves about it. What happens, right? So when we come back on this show and we're talking about this, don't expect me to be hot and bothered. I mean, now if they go and they win 3 in a row, I'm gonna be pumped and I'll bring the positive energy, but don't expect me to crash out on this team, because for them to still be in the playoff picture at this point with all the injuries, that still says something about what this team has. Again, it's up to them. It's 100% up to them. And if they can win all 6 games, then you definitely will make it into the playoffs.
Well, I know that a lot has to go into it because we don't even know who the starting pitchers are at this point. Hunter Brown is likely going to pitch in the Wednesday game, because not only does that set him up to pitch in the first game of a potential wild card series, but also it sets him up to pitch in the final game of the season on short rest. So in case you have a must win to make it into the playoffs. So I think that's another reason why Hunter Brown will pitch likely on Wednesday. But to kind of wrap up the show, is this season a failure if the Astros don't make the playoffs? And another question: if the Astros make it to the wild card series, do they have enough to win in a 3-game series?
I mean, do they have enough? I mean, they have enough, but will what they have produce? They do have enough to win in a 3-game series, but with what they have, is that what they have going to produce? And that is just a completely unknown. But look, get in the playoffs and you can get hot. Again, how many people in Washington, how many people in Atlanta had the Nationals and the Braves winning? And I'm not saying we're those teams. We have far bigger issues than both those teams had, right? Like those teams combined had fewer issues than our one team. So I'm not saying it's apples and oranges, but you can't count anybody out when the playoffs start. It's not like we're the Tigers of 24. The Tigers of 24, everybody knew once they got past us, they were done. There was no way they were going to get past that next round. And they didn't. They had a starting pitcher and their offense was cheeks. So they beat us because we didn't do anything against them.
So would this change your answer? Sunday, Hunter Brown has got to pitch to win this, to go to the playoffs. Hunter Brown's got to start. That means he likely won't even pitch in the wild card series. Do you like your chances?
Well, do I like my chances in a wild card set without Hunter Brown?
He could technically pitch on Thursday, but that's if you make it to game 3. Kikuchi.
Let's just say it makes it a lot more difficult. You have a bullpen game. You have guys like Gordon, Blue Ball, guys like that got to really show up. It definitely makes it a lot harder. But that's the Astros have put themselves behind the 8 ball. They have nobody to blame but themselves. They clearly had a lead. They had momentum. They swept the Dodgers. They were looking good. AAA lineup, blah, blah, blah. Again, they've got to produce.
Do you trust Framber Valdez to pitch game 1 of the playoff series if you use Hunter Brown on Sunday?
Okay, say that again.
Do you trust Framber Valdez in game 1 if you have to pitch Hunter Brown on Sunday?
I mean, do I have a choice?
Not really.
If I don't have a choice, I'm going to pull for him. I don't know if I trust him because he's been horrible. He's been cheeks in the second half. So, but at the end of the day, you got to go with the guy that's there in the stable. And if he's warming up to start, you better hope he pitches one hell of a game and wins for you and produces ground balls and doesn't give up long balls. But you also hope that your offense backs him up. So again, it's tough. It's hard to be optimistic in times like this, but the team's not panicking. I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to say the Astros are out until they are mathematically eliminated.
And I think it's too soon for us to answer this question if the season be a failure, because they've dealt with a lot of issues, whether it's injuries, just underperformance by several players, Altuve included, and Christian Walker. So they've dealt with a lot. I know that Brian McTaggart put out an article that Joe Espada should get some votes for manager of the year for everything that he's had to deal with this year, and still put the Astros where they were. Ken Rosenthal put out a video today that basically said that it is surprising that the Astros run, not the run of overall, but that this season they did as well as they did with as many injuries as they dealt with. This is an outsider. This is somebody outside of Houston. This is not one of us homers saying this, but this was Ken Rosenthal that said this today. And so he was just shocked that this did not happen sooner, that they kind of lost their edge. So I think it's too soon to say if it's a failure because they've dealt with a lot of stuff. I think we can have, we'll see what happens, how far the Astros get, but it'll be definitely disappointing. And so all we could do is do like Joe Espada said, take it one game at a time. And that starts tomorrow night in Sacramento. and we'll see what happens. So, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. Go make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check us out. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Go Stros. Ken Rosenthal is a diva. Where did that come from?